Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We're going to give it a couple of minutes so that everyone can hop in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you to everyone that's right on time. Just a couple of things. First off, this is Carla from the Capo office. This webinar is a one-way presentation, so you don't have to worry about your microphone. You don't need to worry about your camera. And if you need to send in any questions or any comments that you may have, you can do so through the Q&A tool that you're going to find at the bottom of your screen. So you just click that and send in any questions that you may have. This webinar is being recorded, and we're going to send you that recording along with the presentation after the webinar so that you can go over it again if you need to. And again, thanks to everyone that's just joining. And in case you just joined just now, just remember that if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and share them through the Q&A tool that you're gonna find at the bottom of your screen. And then our presenter is gonna go ahead and answer that for you, okay? So I see a couple people still coming in. So let's give it another moment. I think it's slowing down now. So now we're 2 minutes in. So I think it's fair to hand it over to Randy so he can get started. Thank you, Randy, and go ahead.
Hey, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the introduction, Carla. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with everyone this afternoon. And what we're going to be talking about is the CPSM certification, why that's important for your career as another option to the Certified Public Procurement Officer certification that's also offered. And because we know CAPO recognizes a lot of the different professional certifications that are out there. So this is just another option for you. Or maybe you have certifications and so you want to be able to have another one or add to your skills. And we're going to talk about why that's important, why you want to stay on top of your game with different certifications, and how our program is a little bit different than everyone else's. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. Here we go. So, make sure we got this one. All right. Okay. So if you can see my screen, just give me let me know we're good to go. Carly, can you see my screen? Is that
Yeah,
good?
screen looking great.
Okay, good to go. So part of what we're going to be talking about is not only the CPSM certification, but we've all heard about artificial intelligence and AI. And one of the things we're going to be doing different with this offering than we've done in the past is we're going to be adding artificial intelligence and masterclass to demonstrate how you can use the things you learn in CPSM and tack on AI tools that can help you get those things done faster. So it's not just a regular certification class, but we're also going to give you actionable tools that you can use right now to help you with your job. And one of the things we know as all supply chain professionals that we're normally overworked and we just don't have enough time to do everything we absolutely have to get done. So having these AI tools that I've seen really helps people get things done faster. For example, we had one gentleman, we were working on a project, and he spent his entire Monday doing a report. He'd bring in 8 different spreadsheets, and he would process these spreadsheets and come up with basically was a on-time delivery analysis. Are things going to be late or not going to be late? And we did it in 10 minutes. So that's an example of how we can use AI, and we'll be adding that to the training that we'll be offering here. Real quick disclaimer, ISM is, we are certified to teach, but this is not an endorsement of ISM. ISM doesn't endorse any specific instructor. They just, enable us to teach, and they say we're qualified to teach. So this is just that disclaimer that they want us to provide when we do our training. So what is supply chain management? We know it's the right stuff in the right place, the right time, the right quantity, and the right quality. All the activities it takes to deliver that supply management, whether you're in procurement, logistics, sourcing, contract management, all these different functions make up the different functions within supply chain management. But, it's not just a bunch of paperwork. It's a little bit more than paperwork, and we know that better than anyone. There's a lot of relationships, there's a lot of negotiations, there's a lot of technical skills that we have to understand. We have to understand the economy and the economic impacts of things that are going on out there in the different ways that we do business, right? So that's important to know that what chain management is just not what everyone thinks. It's a lot better than that. It's the single strongest source of stress in any organization, whether you're a for profit company, a not for profit company, a government organization. Your ability to manage your supply chain enables you to do more with less. In the on the private sector, sales generates revenue, right? But on the what supply chain does is it manages expenses. And when you subtract revenue from expenses, you have profit. So at the end of the day, it's all about procurement equals profit. And on the government sector, we stay within budget. A lot of us on the call in California, public procurement officers, we are involved in municipalities. So it's not about profit. It's just usually we have a limited budget, but we have to get a whole bunch of stuff done, right? We have to get those things done. There's competing priorities. So our ability to maintain our budgets and stay within budgets make us more effective as supply chain managers, as public procurement officials. And the other part of managing supply chain is really those disruptions. That's something we experience in the pandemic. It's something we experience every single day when we're going through our day-to-day activity. When things are running smoothly, nobody really cares about us, right? They say you're doing your job, do a good job, we don't care. But when something goes wrong and things aren't showing up on time and it's affecting operations and the ability of our clients, our customers to do their job, then everyone's like, what's going on with supply? Where's my stuff? What do I got to do to get my stuff? Why does it take 30 days to get a request? And now I got that request in, it's starting to have a disruption. And that's where we bring in our relationships. We bring in our negotiation skills. We understand contracts and what those terms and conditions say so we can enforce those terms with our vendors. So, in addition to maintaining profitability for the private sector, staying within budget for our government sector as well as our nonprofits, and then it's really overcoming disruptions to make sure everything settles and happens the way it's supposed to happen. Procurement equals profit, as I mentioned before. Our ability to manage our budgets enables us to do more with less. Even Elon Musk knows that the supply chain stuff is tricky. When he's thinking about sending rockets to different places up into space and eventually into Mars, it's not about getting to Mars. It's about what do you do when you get there. On Earth, we're trying to manage all the stuff it takes to create the rockets and launch. And then once we get there, then what? So that's going to be an amazing supply chain that's going to get in place as well. Way back in ancient times, Sun Tzu, the difference between order and disorder is logistics, also known as supply chain. Even Napoleon Bonaparte understood that amateurs discuss tactics, professionals discuss logistics. In my background, where I come from, I spent 20 years in the military service. When I came out, I've been, involved in supply chain consulting and training for the last 15 years. And we all know that, ideas are just ideas until you put resources behind it. And that's where we come in to make those things happen. And when you get certified, when you become a professional in supply management, what does that mean? 2.5% savings impacts the bottom line, 10% more profit. Or in the government sector, if I can save 2%, that's 2% more money I have to go do something else. Companies that implement supply chain as a strategy are 73% more profitable. And in my own experience, in my own consulting work, what I've seen, those initial years of implementing supply chain as a strategy, the things we talk about in the CPSM training, doing those different things enables those companies to save a lot of money, significantly a lot of money. That makes a huge impact on the bottom line. And so you can imagine when you start to manage our supply chains and we're not just spending ad hoc. And I know it's not us that's spending ad hoc, it's our customers, our users, they're doing this ad hoc spending. And we have to try to control all that, right? So when we start to control that and we implement policies and we help people better understand what they're doing and how it impacts, we're able to do more with less. And we also see a 40% return on investment when we invest in our supply chain training in our supply chain initiative. So by investing in this course, and I've seen this again and again with the students that we put through our training, they, within a few weeks of just starting the training, they're already paying for the training itself based on the savings that they're implementing for their organization. Now, why get certified for a career in supply chain management? Bottom line, supply chain is not software. Right now, there's a lot of companies running around out there looking for problems with their solution, meaning they're like, hey, I've got a great software solution that can solve the problems that you didn't even know you had yet, right? Instead, it's about people. We saw that in the pandemic. The systems failed. The contracts were in place, but people didn't deliver because they didn't have the stuff to put into those contracts. When I did my dissertation on Marine Corps supply chain management during Operation Iraqi Freedom, the Marine Corps was in the middle of two different systems. They were bringing on a new system and they were getting rid of an old system. So they had one coast on the new system and the other coast on the old system. And then we had to go to war. And the software failed. The people made the difference. You can look at that on Amazon. I published that dissertation. You can grab that, Supply Chain Operations by the Marine Corps during Operation Iraqi Freedom. But the main point of that entire book is that people made the difference. Their ability to communicate, their ability to analyze, their ability to solve problems. All those skills came into play because the software failed. And what we found is that we basically created a separate supply chain from the systems. The systems failed, and then people just started to negotiate with what they had. Like, I've got tires, you've got fuel, I'll trade my tires for your fuel. Let's work it out. And that takes people. Software had nothing to do with that. And when you become certified in supply management, you become a strategic advantage for your organization. You become a strategic asset because you're thinking differently. You're not just thinking about the tactical orders of procurement. You're thinking about the impact of those orders long term down the road. You're thinking about the impact of those vendors and their vendors and how they're affecting your supply chain. You become a strategic asset for your organization. And as we talked about, AI is becoming a tool for supply chain professionals to use to get more done with less. Many of us on a regular basis, especially when it comes to the end of the fiscal year, we're working 18-hour days just because we have to execute the budget before the end of the year comes. AI allows you to get more done faster, right? A lot faster. And again, we'll talk about that and why that's important when we implement this in our CPSM Boost Camp. You'll see how that works. When you start to integrate CPSM and AI, excuse me, let's grab a drink. When you implement CPSM or supply management certification concepts with AI, you start to integrate best practices with state of the art tools. And what's great about the new AI tools, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Grok, Gemini, all these tools are free and public to use. A lot of them you can use very easily for free. And if you need additional capabilities, then there's a little bit of a charge, $20 a month. And when you think about $20 a month, how is that compared to your time? If you spend $20 a month to get access to tools that saves you hours and hours, it's a pretty good investment. So we'll be talking about the CPSM concepts and then tacking on AI tools to execute those concepts. And when you become CPSM with AI, you start to get career growth. You have an industry certification that's globally recognized, considered the gold standard of supply chain management certifications, the industry standards. And there's other ones that are out there, the CPPO, the Certified Public Procurement Officer, the CSCP, Certified Supply Chain Professional, and there's a few others out there that are recognized and globally recognized. And by getting certified, you're meeting that industry standard. You're going to put yourself through the rigor, the understanding of different concepts so that you have those best practices. And you may have been certified years ago and you're wondering, why do I need to stay certified? Why do I need to keep going through certifications? I got certification once, I'll do it again. It's because we have to keep our skills up because things are constantly changing, constantly changing. And when you start to tack CPSM with the certification, with the ability to use the AI tools, you start to gain an edge and more importantly, you avoid obsolescence. That's a concern a lot of people have when it comes to AI. Is it going to replace me, my job? And what I can offer based on my study and my investment of time learning these tools, it's not going to replace people that understand how to use the tools, because the tools enable you to do more with less. But one of the key things about AI is it does exactly what you tell it to do, no more, no less. So you have to know what is correct in order to use AI correctly, right? So what does that mean? By going through the certification process, you learn the best practices that are correct. You understand the results you should get when you go through an AI process. You may get an AI process done really fast, but if it's wrong, you just made a mistake really fast, right? And when you start to scale that mistake, you start to make a lot of mistakes really, really fast. And that can be a huge impact on your bottom line and what you have going on. So understanding the tools, understanding the concepts and putting those together are going to make you more valuable to your organization. It's going to give you an edge in the marketplace. So as more tools come on board, as more tools become available, you're going to have the ability to understand what's happening, how to use them, and how to use them properly within your organization. And as a leader within your organization, you want to make sure you have that capability to integrate with those systems and make sure that you use them correctly. One of the things, as I mentioned before, we're going to have an AI masterclass included with the CPSM boot camp. You're going to have access to the boot camp training. It's self-paced. I'll get more into the program here in a few minutes, but then we're going to tack on masterclass looking at different functions that you need to do and giving you tools, more importantly, showing you how to build these tools on your own. So it's not just about, hey, here's my software, right? I'm a solution looking for a problem. Like you have a problem. No, I'm going to show you how to build these tools. So when you have a CPSM concept like the sourcing process, which I already built a tool, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes, how within about 30 seconds, I have an entire sourcing plan that I can use to regulate what do I need to do with my activity, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about that. When you have certification, it sets you apart, keeps you ahead, future proofs your career, enables you to be successful for the long term. And what is credentialing? It's a process of meeting those specific professional standards required to perform your job. You're setting that industry standard. And it's a recognition from a authoritative body that you've met those standards. So by having Institute for Supply Management, ISM, the Association of Supply Chain Management, ASCM, CAPO, right? These are all industry standards. These are people that who've said this is the standard for our industry, and we're going to meet that standard. And it's letting other people know what you know, right? The CPSM tells people you have a base set of knowledge, and they know exactly what you can do. Why does it matter? You're more valuable to your company. You get more career opportunities. It's the Cadillac of supply chain certifications, and it takes effort, which we're going to talk about. When you think of the CPSM, think of a CPA, a certified public accountant. They go through the same process, right? Or an engineer who's certified, a certified civil engineer who's certified to certify different engineering projects. They're certified. They've met a standard, and people know that if they have that standard, they have a baseline of knowledge that sets them apart from everyone else that's out there. When you go through the training, you're going to master the fundamentals. Master the fundamentals of supply chain management, integration of different systems, and the key piece there, which I find is probably the most important, is the leadership and transformation piece, which is where we start to learn the things from the core and the integration, and like, well, how do we implement those into our organization? Leadership and transformation talks about how to implement those into your organization. Another reason to pursue certifications is that the best of the best implement supply chain management. Toyota, Walmart, as I mentioned before, companies that manage their supply chain are 73% more profitable, and they see a 40% return on investment into their organization. What does it mean to you personally? You have an edge. Those that are certified make more than those that don't. Okay. In the last ISM salary survey, 5% more than those that are not certified. If you're certified and have a certification, you have the chance of earning 5% more than those that are not. Why? Well, if I get the CPSM, is that immediately going to give me a raise? No, it gives you the skills to show more value, which is more valuable to your organization. So when they're considering raises, when they're considering promotions, when they're considering these things, they're looking for the key players that know how to get the job done and consistently bring value to the organization. And by mastering those skills, you are enabled to bring more value to the organization, which is recognized with promotion. And let's just say that's not happening. Maybe you're not getting promoted and you're frustrated, like, Randy, I invested all this time and effort and I got CPSM and I'm not getting promoted. What I can share with you is that certification is valuable, and there are other organizations that value that certification. So, based on career development and your career path, you may consider looking at other opportunities. And now, with a CPSM certification, it makes you better qualified for those opportunities. Okay. Certification takes effort, it takes time, right? 3 years with a bachelor's degree of experience. If you have 3 years supply management experience, other than just processing, purchase orders, if it's, you have a little bit more into that. And most of us, we do that on a regular basis. And a bachelor's degree. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, just 5 years experience qualifies you to get the CPSM certification. Pass the CPSM exams, and there's 3 of them, and we'll talk about those here in a second. Go through the application process, and then you'll have your certification. And then every 3 years, you need to recertify by getting 60 continuing education hours. Okay. What are the 3 different exams? Exam 1 is supply management core. Those are the basics of any procurement supply shop, right? If you have a shop, some kind of procurement office or supply chain office, these are the basic core processes: sourcing, contract management, logistics, supplier management. These basics are the main part, and they're the largest part of the certification. There's 180 questions. Okay, 165 are scored. There's 15 test questions. What this means, they're testing questions to see how valuable, see if they're actually good questions to put into the test. But only 165 are scored. And then you have exam 2, which is supply management integration, where you take the things you learn in exam 1 and you start to integrate them into your organization by using different systems, analytics, forecasting, logistics. A big part of that is logistics. And then leadership and transformation, which talks through how to take the things you learned in exam 1 and exam 2 and then implement them in your organization. Different levels of management: risk and compliance, okay, corporate social responsibility. These are strategic thinking levels of skills that you learn when you go to leadership and transformation. Right, here are the different areas that they talk about: supply management core, sourcing, category management, negotiations, legal and contractual, which are all the different legal contract vehicles. Most of us use firm fixed price, but there's 8 other different types of contracts that you could use if you knew how to implement them, right? That's another way, another tool that you have. Supplier relationship management. A key to success of any supply chain professional is their ability to work with vendors to ensure not only do they get what they paid for, more importantly, is that you get stuff when nobody else can, right? That relationship is critical. And we talk about how to manage those vendors so that you get the best value possible for every contract, for every dollar you spend with them. And then financial analysis. How do we analyze vendors' ability to be financially viable? How do we look at different sourcing projects to ensure that they're going to stay within budget? Supply management integration, we go through supply chain strategy, demand planning, forecasting, product and service development. How do we integrate sales and marketing, right? And on the government side, how do we integrate in those political processes to understand their budgeting priorities so that we can ensure that we have enough resources to support those plans? Quality management, logistics is a big part of it, and then project management. And then leadership and transformation, supply management, exam 3, more strategy development, engaging stakeholders, not only in outside your organization with the vendors, but also inside your organization. Who are those key players that can affect our ability to get things done? Who needs to know what, right? So engaging those stakeholders, developing people and coaching, looking at different systems. How do you buy systems? How do you evaluate all those solutions running around looking for those problems, right? How do you know which ones are the best ones for your organization? And we talk about how to look at that risk and compliance, different rules and laws that are out there that help that impact our profession, and then social responsibility and ethics. Those are the three different exams. And what our job is to help you achieve this certification. We do that by guiding you through the process, telling you exactly what to study so that you're not just flopping around. Okay, we coach, we provide live coaching, individual coaching if you need it, and we give you the resources to be successful. We follow the strategy called SIRTAP: study, review, test, analyze, and plan. What that basically means is we study the knowledge and then we review the knowledge, right? Then we do a test, a diagnostic test. Based on that diagnostic test, we analyze those results and we develop a study plan that targets your study efforts for the areas that you need to study, not the ones that you've already mastered. Okay. So that's already, that's the process that we go through. And we talk about that. It's actually online. You can find the different videos that we talk about our different preparation process that everyone can do on their own. So you can take this process and do it on your own. What we find is that a lot of people have good intentions, but without a program and without a coach behind them, those intentions tend to get lost. Life happens. But by going through a boot camp that we put together, you can get certified in 90 days from beginning to end within 90 days by committing 1 hour per day, 5 days a week. You can get through all the training in 30 days and they can take your certification exams over the next 60 days based on your workload. So that gets it done. That gets it done. And what do you get through our boot camp? We go through and we prepare you for the 3 exams. You're going to learn the concepts, how to apply the concepts so that you're not only memorizing for the test, because if you try to memorize for the test, you're not going to be successful in the test. You have to understand the concepts and how to apply those concepts to different situations in order to be successful on the exam. There are a lot of application questions where they'll give you a scenario. You'll have to recognize a scenario, and then based on that scenario, select the correct answer. Okay. Self-paced learning. Our entire boot camp has been recorded and it's online. So it's 24/7 accessible to you. As I mentioned, 1 hour per day, 5 days a week gets you through all the training. Then based on your diagnostic test, you can do more study, more detailed study, and then you can take the certification exam all within 90 days. Okay. And so you can do it on your own. You don't have to worry about missing any classes because you can take it at lunch no matter where you are in the world. And we've had people all over the world. In fact, we're an approved vendor for the Army Ignited program, where the Army started to pay for certification for soldiers to get credentials. And we're the approved vendor that enabled those soldiers to get this certification. And they are all over the world, including deployed. And they use this program to get the certification. And they're very, very successful. They're very successful. Custom study plans, as I mentioned before, we help you know exactly what you need to study so you don't waste time on things that you've already mastered. Instead, you focus on things that you haven't quite mastered yet. Live coaching with me, where I'll get on a phone one-on-one, as well as group coaching and answer questions. Explain the concepts differently than how you see them online, give you key insights how to be successful on the exam, and make sure that you stay on task, right? Remind you, hey, what are we doing here? Are we taking this or not? Okay, don't let life get in the way. Get this done. Now, what we're going to do with the AI masterclass, the self-paced is online, access anytime. And then come the beginning of December, we're going to do the AI masterclasses where we're going to start to integrate the concepts you learn in CPSM and apply that to AI tools. One, demand AI powered forecasting, how you can take 8 spreadsheets, stick them in an AI, and say, give me some answers, and it'll go through all that analysis very quickly and tell you the information that you need to know. But you have to know how to talk to the AI. You have to know how to train the AI. You have to know those things so that the AI can deliver the results that you need. You can't just throw it in there and say, give me, give me, give me. Right. You got to tell it what to do. Inventory optimization. When you go through, it's like, okay, what demand forecasting? What's the optimal inventory I need to keep on hand? We're going to show you not only how to use AI to do that, show you a tool that you can build so that you can do this on your own desktop. Why is that important? Because a lot of you probably already have ERP systems, right? Some type of MRP, ERP system that you're using. And guaranteed, those software solutions are trying to stick AI into their solutions. If you don't know how to use the AI correctly, they're going to give you a very nice, very expensive paperweight, electronic paperweight. In other words, great, but now what? How do I use it? How do I get the most from this tool? And that's the idea, that's the intent and concept behind the AI masterclass, is to show you how to use these tools so you get the most from them. All right. And again, logistics monitoring, different feeds, so you know what's going on out there. A lot of this stuff is happening. You see this on Amazon, right? You can implement this yourself, not in a very expensive way. Not in a very expensive way. Certification that pays for itself. Higher salaries, better career opportunities, increased job security because you're more valuable for your organization, for your company. Within 30 to 60 days after starting the course, you're going to learn things that are going to pay for this certification. All right. So when your boss is like, why are we going to spend so much on this certification? Why are we going to invest this much on the certification? Because it's going to pay for itself. Just the negotiations alone is going to give you different questions to ask in a different way so that you get more value when you're negotiating with your vendors. Okay. Other bonuses we are including. Okay. 6-month access to the supply chain AI toolkit. And we already have 9 different agents in there that we've built for you. And what I want to do now is I want to show you how that looks. What does that look like? Okay. And where do we have that here? Here we go. Okay, come over here. Escape this. Okay, share a different screen. I think that's it. Okay. Can you see the screen now? I think we're good. I want to make sure you can see the system.
Yeah, looks great.
Okay. So as you see here, we've built these agents. Okay. So the idea is not only that you get access to these agents, you can start using them, but I'm going to show you how to build them. All right. How to build them. And it's not as difficult as it may appear to be, but you have to know what is correct in order to get the AI to do the correct thing. And so I built this one, which is basically starting with the 8 steps in the procurement process, which starts with recognition of need, right? Put it in here and just give me a recognition. Okay, coming to the end of the year, we're going to want to spend money. So people want, I need a computer. I need a computer for my organization to do planning. For let's go with for a engineer. Okay, boom. And then we submit it. Okay. It's going to go through its process. And I went ahead and did it just in case the technology blows up on me, but it didn't work. Okay, so it worked here. Right here, the reason we have this tool set up is so we know who's using the tool. So put in Randy, Mauldin. This is my personal email. Feel free to contact me here. Okay, save and continue, and then go. Okay, so I've already started talking. Now it's starting to do its thing, right? Go ahead and look at your watch. How long is this going to take? And what we're going to do is build a sourcing plan for buying this computer. I'm going to tell you exactly what to think about. All right, starting to go through the process, procurement checklist for the computer for the engineer. Okay, needs versus wants, budget considerations, operations issues. Big one I thought of here, key stakeholders. Who do you need to talk to, right? So if you have new people, new procurement people who may not be implementing these, this is a great way to start to teach them the concepts of supply management to do this on a regular basis. What is practice becomes instinctual and it starts to become habit. You do it faster and faster. Okay. Going through budget considerations, operational issues, strategic alignment, action items. Okay. Now we're doing a report. Sources, where can we buy different things, right? So now you've got some market research knocked out. New sources to consider, existing sources, evaluation criteria. What are we evaluating in this on? Recommendations, okay? Global considerations to consider, okay? Develop your sourcing plan. So this could be very easy, right? If you're talking to a department head, you have somebody who said, hey, I need to get a computer. Boom, you now have something that you can hand them. This is what we need to do to get your computer, right? And go through this process. You have all these different tools, a timeline. You can put this in there and you can fill this in. Now, this is what I would say, a very basic tool. Okay. Probably built this tool in about 30 minutes to an hour, right? But I knew what I was looking for and I knew what the result was. I can export this. I can save it as a PDF. Okay. I can give it to someone else, right? And go through that. You can go through this and you can make it more sophisticated, right? These are all different things that you can do when you start to implement AI, which is great when you start to learn all the things we're going to teach you in the CPSM certification training. Okay. let's see here. Let's go back into our share here. Okay, so I really wanted to share that with you just so you kind of know, hey, what's Randy talking about with AI? What the main point I want to share with you on this is that it's not as hard as it looks, and it can appear that way. Now, in addition to joining this training, you're also going to get 12 months free membership to the Supply Chain Innovators Association, which is an association of people who are on the cutting edge trying to understand how to use AI and other innovative tools in supply chain management so that they can be more successful. And with the constant evolution of the technology that's coming out, this is the organization you want to be a part of. Okay. Custom study guides and sheets tell you exactly what to study so you don't have to guess about what you're going to do. In addition, we're going to do resume and job interview optimization. Okay. With this, we take your resume, we use AI. Okay. We take a job description, we talk about how to merge the two so you have the best resume possible, and also give you tools that you can prepare for those interviews as well. Right. Why do we get certification? To progress in our career. Whether we're going for a new job within our own organization, we want to get promoted, if we want to go for a job outside our organization, either way, we want to make sure our resume is squared away. We want to make sure we're prepared for the interview so we can get that job. Okay. Also mentioned, recertification every 3 years, 60 continuing education hours. By being part of the Supply Chain Innovators Association, you'll get access to those continuing education hours, in addition to what you get with CAPO, ISM, ASDM, all the different ones that are out there. Just another source of continuing education hours that are out there. And when you work with us, you get it done. Main point, pass or we pay. When you follow our process, and I say that very deliberately, when you do what we tell you, you will pass. Okay. If you're not successful, we will pay the re-exam fees for one exam of the 3 exams. Okay. So if you're not successful on exam 1, pay for the re-exam for exam 1. Not successful on exam 2, we'll pay for the re-exam for exam 2. And if not successful on exam 3, we'll pay for the re-exam for exam 3, just once for each of the 3 exams. Okay. Just once. Why are we successful? Been doing this for 15 years. People get through. We measure our success based on how many people ask us to pay for the re-exams. Less than 1% of the people that we've trained have asked us to pay the re-exam fees. I think that stat speaks for itself. Very focused, deliberate, methodical program. It's my background in the service for 20 years, working all over the service. When I got out of the service, I started doing supply chain training and consultation, just having a good time. And one of I think I'd call I'm a supply chain freak. I love supply chain. I love everything about it. I enjoyed it in the military. I've enjoyed it everywhere else. So I'm very passionate about supply chain. And so helping people achieve the certification and progress in their career is something I really, really enjoy doing. What's the cost for the program? This is the program. Okay. Now, things that we can't discount, the learning system from ISM, cost is what the cost is. The exams, the cost is what the cost is. The membership fee, it is what it is. But what we can adjust for you for being on this webinar, and no one else has ever seen this deal. Okay. The reason I'm doing this deal for you guys, because I'm going to see you again in January at the Capital Conference in Sacramento. In Sacramento, I'll be teaching 3 classes, one on leadership, one on, sourcing, and another one on how to hire veterans in your organization, how to talk to them, how to look at their resumes, how to see the value, how to get the most value for your organization when you hire a veteran. And there's a lot of veterans that can help you in your procurement office. And we have access to those through one of the newsletters that we put out there. We will introduce veterans to you to help make that relationship so that you have more success within your organization. So what's the deal? 47% discount on the training, $997 for the training. Okay. That's, if you think about the guarantee, I'm putting a lot of risk, right? 2 exams are covered, 1 exam is not. So if you're not successful, I'm coming out of pocket $500, right? At least, in addition to this. All right. So this is the deal. It's for a limited time only. All right. $997. And so when you enroll now, you're going to transform your career, secure your future, start to master AI driven skills, and get CPSM certified. If you're already certified, This is a great way to get continuing education hours. You'll get at least 27 hours just going through the online boot camp, and you're going to get a lot more with our AI master classes, plus the classes we'll be doing through the Supply Chain Innovators Association. Okay, how do you get involved? Go ahead and scan that QR code right there, or go to that URL. Take a look at the program. We're going through it in more detail. Make sure you register. Okay, it's for a limited time only. I'll be sending out some emails for the deadlines so we can get more people involved in this training. But get this done. You can get this done now. All right. With that, do we have any questions? I'm going to leave this up there and see what kind of questions that we have. All right. Is there any financial aid support available? I'm not sure how your organization works, but I would ask that, talk to your organization, see what type of financial aid they may provide. A lot of organizations do it one of two ways. Some of you, they have a budget where you have like so much money per year for continuing education to keep you on top of your skills. Others work where they reimburse you after you go through the training, get the certification. They'll reimburse you for the training and for the certification. Okay. Yes. Exact question is $997 the training for all 3 courses? The answer is yes. Okay. This is a deal no one else is seeing right now. All right. So this is not going to last long. Once we get to a certain point, we're going to be done. We're going to shut this down. You won't see this in January. Okay. So if you want this, make sure you tell your friends, tell your buddies, make sure everyone gets involved, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially when we start doing the AI master classes. The more people get involved, the more projects we're going to do, the more tools we're going to use, the more experiences we're going to have. And the only way to get involved in that is to be involved in this training. I have a supply chain degree, but I don't have experience hours. Can I still be accepted into this course? Absolutely. The experience required is for the certification itself. Okay. What does that mean? You have to have 3 years experience before you can be certified. However, let's say you have 0 years experience. You just started today. You could go through this training, pass all 3 exams, and your test scores are good for 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, you then apply for certification because you already have your scores. Now you have the experience, and now you can get this job done, right? You get this done. So if you don't have the actual experience hours, get the training, get the skills. And once you get to your 3 years, then you can get certified. This is a great opportunity for those that are new to supply chain. You're bringing people new into your organization. They may not have a clue about what's going on, right? A lot of it's trial by fire, OJT. What a way to give them, and within 30 days, they're going to have a solid baseline of knowledge that you can then tap into, because you know what they know. You know what skills they have, what skills you need. You can say, oh, in CPSM, we talked about sourcing. Remember that chapter here? Boom. They can go right there. It gives them an idea where to get started, and then they can continue on. Okay. Masters in Operations Supply Chain. Good to go. How long are the training sessions? I believe I missed this part. The training sessions themselves for the boot camp, okay, they're set up in an online platform. It's available 24/7. It's self-paced. If you commit 1 hour per day, 5 days a week, you can get through all the training in 30 days. You'll take your diagnostic test based on the results of your diagnostic test. Then you'll study in a focused way for your certification exam. With that certification exam, then you can take those within 60 days. And what I recommend, and what I've seen to be the most successful, are the people that, one, decide to get the certification and then get it done. The ones that are, I'm kind of not sure. Well, my boss said it was a good idea. They usually get distracted, life happens, and they don't get through it. They don't get through it. But somebody who is committed to their profession and is trying to get this done, right? They get focused, they get through the training, and they get it done. Those in the Army, right? I mentioned the Army. These guys are like getting out in 90 days. They get through the certification. 30 days later, they've got the certification. Now they've got a CPSM on their resume that they can talk about when they're going for job interviews. Okay. Next question is, I have procurement experience. What about that? Procurement experience is supply chain experience. So all the different areas that we talked about here, let's go back here. Any of these areas that you have experience in would count towards supply chain experience in the 3 years, whether you're in procurement, logistics, category management, contract management, all these different areas. Even some parts, if you're a project manager and you're required to do the procurement part of that project, that is supply chain experience, right? Okay, these different areas here. Integration, you're an analyst. You're not talking to vendors, but you're analyzing supply chain data. That counts. All right. ISM is very good about giving experience where experience makes sense. Right. They don't want, basically they don't want somebody just processing purchase orders. What I mean by that, in the old days where you basically submit a purchase order, you would check it, and then they would go out and they would hand it to somebody else to do the buying. The buyer would be the one that would have that supply chain experience. Right. And then strategy development, stakeholder engagement, all these different areas are, again, areas where you can get supply chain experience. How is the work experience verified? Are you asking for previous work experience via resume, or do you call previous supervisor? The way ISM does it, when you go to put in your certification, will ask you for your work experience. Then randomly, they select certain people to audit them. With that random selection, they will ask, hey, I need a letter from your supervisor who can testify, can validate that you had this experience. So you just reach out to an old boss, say, hey, boss, I need you to give me this letter. With this letter, it validates my experience so I can get this certification, right? So that's how they verify the experience itself, right? Very good questions. I really appreciate all the questions. They're very, very good. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Great questions. Again, sign up now, get started so we can get this thing first week of December. We're going to start doing the AI master classes. So you want to have this background, knock out some of the training, and we'll get some of that going so that when we start to do and build bots, you have the idea on what to build and show you how to do that. Is there any education requirements? For the certification, the education requirements are here. If you have a bachelor's degree, all you need is 3 years experience. If you do not have a bachelor's degree, you need 5 years experience. So someone may not have a bachelor's degree. A lot of us, you know, a lot of us get put in supply chain or procurement because, that was the only job left. Then once we're in it, we love it. That's what happened to me. I just love it, right? So that's where your education, just to answer that question, what is the education requirement? Excuse me. If you have a bachelor's degree, 3 years experience. If you do not have a bachelor's degree, 5 years experience. The only way that may come into play is if someone's following the path of doing the training, passing the test to validate that they passed the training. That's what most bosses would want. Well, I want to make sure we're going to pay for this. We want to make sure you get the degree, the thing, right? Then waiting 3 years. So if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you may want to make sure you're within 3 years, may have at least 1 or 2, 2 years experience so that you can get that certification as soon as your exam scores, so they don't expire on you. They're good again for 3 years. So you can take the test, get the experience over the next 3 years, and then you'll be good to go. Right. Great question. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Hope if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best way to connect with me, or just send me an email. I'll give you my email, my direct email right to me. It's Randy, Randy 18 at jqsllc.com. .com. I want to go ahead and put that. If you want to make sure you put out, say that again real slow. Randy, Randy 18 at jqsllc.com. So if you have any questions, you want to, whatever it is, just let me know and I'll answer those questions as quickly as possible. Or you can give me a call. You want my phone number? Here's my phone number, direct line. On my cell phone number is 321-720-4610. Again, 321-720-4610. And that's directly to my cell phone. So if you have any questions, oh, no, don't call me now. I'm on the station. Right. No, just give me a call. I'll be happy to answer any questions. If you're sending me emails, he's like, why isn't he responding? Just call me. Okay. Again, LinkedIn, email, or direct phone call, any of those, I'll be happy to answer those for you. Okay. Any other questions? I think we got them all. All right. We answered them live. We answered. Carla, anything else we need to cover?
I think that would be it then if we don't have any other questions. Just a reminder for everyone that we will be sharing the presentation along with the recording for today's webinar through your email. So you can expect that in the next couple of days. But that would be it.
Very good. Again, I appreciate everything. If you need anything, make sure, let's go. What am I sharing here? What screen am I sharing? Make sure you got that share. Yeah. Again, any questions about anything, please reach out to me, scan the QR code. That will help you get the link, talk more about the program, and you can register right away, as well as just go to that link right there. With that, thank you, Carla. Thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing you all in January. Make sure you sign up for my classes so I'm not just talking to myself all day. I will make sure that you get value. In addition to that, anything that we talk about in those classes, I will bring an AI tool to show you how to build it, how to make it work for your organization so that you have that tool for you. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so much, Randy. We really appreciate you taking the time to do this presentation today. And thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.